Gentlemen, the chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Garamendi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It pays to do a lot of listening, and what I've heard is a lot of discussion about this memo. And we ought to really take a look at it. In fact, it's on the FBI website right now. You can pull it up as I talk. And, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter that memo into the record. Thank you. So what do we really have here? I've read the memo. I recommend we all do. It starts off in the first paragraph making it perfectly clear that, one, the lawful First Amendment protection activity should never be subject to persecution. Prosecution. That's the free speech piece right there in the very first paragraph of the memo. And two, the actual issue of concern in this memo is the illegal violence, which has been discussed by several of you as totally illegal, or threats of violence. So let me be very, very clear here. We have myriad examples of extraordinary, serious, violent threats targeting school board officials that should be of concern to everyone in this room and all of my colleagues. Behind me are just 3 of the written examples that were of concern to the FBI. One, quote, "It's too bad that your mama is an ugly communist whore. If she doesn't quit or resign before the end of the year, we will kill her. But first, we will kill you." It would seem to me that is a rather clear example of a violent expression of free speech, which is illegal. Also behind me is another written, this is why Hitler threw you, expletive, into the gas chamber. Third, we're coming after you, stinking traitors of America. This is what was out there in public school board meetings. I would love to show you the videos of those meetings, but we're not allowed to under the rules, apparently. But if we were to do that, we would have a rather clear and numerous examples of violent threats to school board members, teachers, administrators across this nation. This memo by the Attorney General, however it came to be, and that's been discussed here, that maybe somebody suggested that he take action on this, which is rather common. There's not one of us on this dais that hasn't been asked by one or more of our constituents to do something. And so the Attorney General does. He sends out a memo to the FBI agents across the country saying, bad things are going on. Or maybe I should just read it. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values. Those who dedicate their time and energy to ensuring that our children receive a proper education in a safe environment deserve to be able to do their work without fear for their safety. That's the memo. That's what happened here. Is it the director noting, and I'm sure he had more than one source than the School Board Association, that there were things going on in our society that were dangerous. Ms. Parker, you spoke to the difference here between free speech and violent speech. This is what the FBI director did. He said to the agents, pay attention to this and keep track of it. Why? Why did he want them to do that? Because there were threats. Very real threats. Did any of them materialize? There's evidence that they did. You take a look across this country at the number of public servants that simply decided to not serve because of the violent threats. So as we go about our work here, as we go about looking at the weaponization of the federal government, we must be careful that we don't become a weapon to be used for political purposes. There clearly, absolutely is a need to monitor all federal agencies, law enforcement, military, on and on. But let's be very careful that we don't use this committee as a weapon for political purposes.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman yields back.